what's the most competitive game you can play? And just take a second to think about this. What's the most competitive game that you can play? Now, I've had different answers for this one. I've had people tell me hockey. I've had people tell me football. I've had people tell me mixed martial arts because those people are beating the crap out of each other. I've had people say boxing. I've had people say war. And when it really comes down to it, the most competitive game you can play on the planet is business. Those people in business don't care if they bankrupt you. The people that lost in business have lost more than everything. They've been in situations where they still owe money on everything. So if you're really thinking about playing a game like business, here's the question. If I were to go into MMA, football, hockey, war, all that kind of stuff, how much time do they spend preparing me before I'm allowed to play? There's lots of practices, lots of training, lots of stuff. When it comes into business, how much time do you have to prepare before you go buy your business license or go register your liability company or whatever before you go play the game? And the vast majority of people have nothing set up before themselves other than a conversation with an accountant and a good friend patting them on the back and saying, hey, go start your business. So business is the most competitive game you can play on the planet, and you're walking into this without knowing any of the rules. I'm sorry to break it to you, you're not going to make it. So then the question comes down to, if you are in business, who's your major competition? Who's the biggest person you're competing against? Right? And here's what I would argue. I would argue with you until I'm basically ready to pass out from lack of oxygen that your biggest competitor isn't somebody who does what you do. It's never going to be somebody who does what you do. Your biggest competitor is where every other consumer can spend their money. Do I buy myself an iMac or do I put a payment down on my BMW? Do I buy groceries this week or do I buy the mansion that's on the house or the mansion that's on the hill? Sorry. If you think about the one thing in life that you want right now more than anything, maybe for some of you it's a Lamborghini, maybe for some of you it's a mansion, maybe for some of you it's just being home with your kids more than just an hour a day because you're on the road all the time. What's the one thing in your life that you want right now? And now ask yourself this question, why don't you have it? And I believe the biggest reason you don't have it is because you're putting that same money towards other things. For example, I really want to spend more time with my kids, but I'm working so hard. Well, how much do you make per hour? Let's say it's $30 an hour. And let's say you buy a Starbucks coffee every day. Every 6 Starbucks coffees is an hour of your life. You could just work 1 hour less and go spend time with your family if you didn't buy Starbucks. That's the competitive thing that we're talking about. Every consumer has those choices. So when you're out there in business and competing, you're not competing against the other roofer, plumber, winery, whatever. You're competing against, how do I get consumers to buy from me versus doing what they would normally do? So other examples we have on here are things like the Xbox, Expedia, Starbucks, other things. Actually, Greg, I'll let you go into this one too, on how do you actually play the game. Now that we know who the competition is and basically what the most competitive game is, how do you actually play?
Yeah, so think about, let's do a quick story. Let's say you play hockey and you play beer league hockey. Well, in beer league hockey, you know, should you, if you look at the list there, is on the requirements list, is there a scoreboard? Yeah, usually. Is there practice? No, it's beer league hockey, don't need practice. Is there a coach?
Or nobody shows up.
Yeah, right. Is there a coach? No, it's beer league hockey. Why do I need a coach? Is there a referee? No, it's beer league hockey, or maybe there is. Is there a team manager? No, it's beer league hockey. Don't need it. List goes on and on and on. Physios, trainers, game tape review, game plan, all those things. No, it's beer league hockey. Why do I need that? That's like the rec sport column. Then you go to club sport. So that might be like
you join
an organized
hockey now.
Yeah, you join maybe it's a high school league or a university league or some kind of junior hockey, whatever it might be. You know, there's a bunch of stuff on that list they're going to have, but then there's stuff they're not going to have because they're going to say, well, it ain't the NHL, so why do we need that? And then you go to the NHL and they got everything on the list. And the point is this. If you agree and believe what Dennis just said about your competition not being just other companies in your industry, it's everybody that your potential customer will spend their money with. If you believe that's true, and I do,
I've seen it.
Then you're playing professional business because you're competing with BMW, Apple, Starbucks, Air Canada, airlines, whatever. If that's the case, they're doing all these things. They have everything they're thinking about they need to play at the highest level. If you're not doing that, you're dead right out of the gate, especially if you're a brand new startup. If you're not preparing yourself for that, you're dead in the water. You're never going to have a chance. Now, Dennis and I both believe this. If you do that third column on the right, you put all those things in place. And, that's just that list that's up there is related to sports, but, the list would change for business. You put that list in place, and it's the fundamentals we got coming up. I'll show you in a minute. And it's what we teach in this class we're talking about. You put those in place, when you go to fight corporations, big companies, you actually have an advantage because you have the same knowledge, the same fundamentals, the same know-how, but you can react faster.
Yep.
And you can talk to your customer better. And quite frankly, it's small business that's usually a little more innovative. That's where the innovation comes from. So you'll have the advantage of innovation, customer relationship, and reactiveness with their same knowledge. And by the way, the reason today 80% of businesses fail is because they don't have the knowledge. And it's the knowledge the corporations have. That's why more small business fails than corporation fails, because they just don't have the knowledge. If we can give you the knowledge and you can do it, then you actually have an advantage.
And just really think about where most businesses play. The vast majority of businesses Greg and I have ever encountered don't even play at a club sport level. They have a scoreboard and they think it's how much money they're making on revenue. And revenue literally is the second thing you look at, and we'll get into why later. But revenue is probably the biggest misleader of anything. So they're playing with the wrong scoreboard. They're talking to accountants and people for business advice and people that have never actually built anything successful. So it ends up being a big guessing game. Or they're in a network marketing, or not a network marketing group, but a networking group or a mastermind group, or they're involved in something where you have a bunch of broke people advising a bunch of broke people on what to do, which means that as we progress our clients, and by the way, all that stuff I just talked about, it's all rec sport league. By the time we actually advise our clients how to properly look at the scoreboard, how to properly look at other aspects of the company, they start playing at the club sport level, and they don't have to get to professional level yet to start taking over a ton of market share. It goes fast because it's kind of like you're now the two-armed, two-legged hockey player playing against the guy that's got no arms. Hey guys, Dennis Tagman here, and thank you for watching. If you like this video, make sure you go to ForzaniClass.com. We've got the entire thing laid out so that way you know how to take your business from startup all the way through to sale if you want to, and the things to look up in between as you're going. Also, if your business right now is in a situation where it's just not giving you the lifestyle that you want, or things just aren't going the way you want to, you need to fix it, ForzaniClass.com is also built to help you out as well. So check out ForzaniClass.com, and we'll see you there.